my name is Stella and today is part 2 of my wardrobe tour. Last time I covered all of my dresses, but today I'm going to go ahead and go over everything else that I have. Some things like the blouses and tops I will cover a little bit more in detail than other things like accessories, because if I went into extensive detail about everything, this would be a forever long video. And to help save time, I'm also just gonna jump right in. We're gonna go back to my closet because I quickly want to cover how I organize other stuff like my dress accessories. As we know, dresses come with waist ties as well as ribbon that makes up the back part where there's usually shirring or something. Now, I always used to keep my waist ties on, but I want to say over this last year especially, I've just taken to removing most of them. But those things I like to keep in little hat boxes that I have on top of my clothes right here. So this smaller one is just ribbons. So the backing ribbons I actually normally don't remove from my dresses, but in the event that I do for like washing or something, I'll keep them in here, and really they're pretty much in here because I'm just really lazy and it takes a long time to lace them all the way back up. So this is the big hat box that I have, and this is pretty much all of the waist ties. Now, previously I actually used to use this for actual hats, but I'm no longer doing that because it's a little bit of a hassle having to come in and dig for the right one. And in addition to the waist ties, it also has some of the, neckties like these that dresses come with, and then some other random little accessories. I feel like holding onto the waist ties is very handy, especially like if your dress doesn't come with a head bow. You can just make one yourself, so I wouldn't suggest doing that unless you Google. That way you don't end up messing with fabric. So now that that's out of the way, I want to take us to the bottom half of my closet where you can see I have my shoes. So most of my shoes are either bodyline or in China, and actually a few months ago I did an unboxing of a whole bunch of these. It's all done with and it's uploaded, but it is on hold because I like to release my hauls like super spaced out. So if you're interested in seeing those ones up close, you can wait for that video to come out. But yeah, my most comfiest pairs are these two Secret Shop ones. I find that Secret Shop is a little bit more comfier than Antina, but I also find that they're just a little bit more difficult to get a hold of. But my most comfiest is these old bodyline shoes. I'll talk about that again in the future, but I think it's because they are so worn into. I have complained in the past about Lolita shoes not being very comfortable. Luckily, like, foot padding is a thing, but if you're wearing it all day, by the end of the day, it's still gonna hurt a little bit. So this foot rack I actually got on Amazon. I think it was maybe like $10 to $14. It works better for flat shoes. As you can see, I have this bottom row with the heels peeking outwards. I decided to do that because otherwise removing shoes from the bottom would mess with the heels and it would just knock everything down. So although it does the job, I don't necessarily think that I would recommend it, but I've already purchased it and it does the job mediocrely, so I'm just gonna leave it the way it is for now. So now I think I'm gonna go ahead and move on to my bags. So you may have seen this corner before. I've done a few videos here. This is the door when you walk into my office. This was not originally supposed to be the bag corner, but that's kind of how it turned out. I found this door bag holder at Ross for super cheap, and I fell in love with it because it was pink and it had shiny little knobs, and I thought it would be a cute place for my animal bags and my parasol. I also have some face masks on it and some little fairy head thingies that I got at the fair. So the other half consisting of all my actual Lolita bags happened because I ran out of room in my closet. I used to store them above my dresses in the little nook where I currently have my hat boxes, but that area is rather small, and just especially for bigger bags, they just could not fit in there. And so it hit me, if I have these things hanging on the wall, why not just put my bags up? So I got these little wooden panels from Amazon. I started out with 2, but it wasn't quite enough, so I got a 3rd one. Personally, I think that 3 is a little bit overkill. I would much rather have less stuff on this wall because I just think it looks a little bit messy, but because I like keeping most of my stuff in the same area, this is just how it's gonna be. So if you're thinking about doing something like this, just remember that certain cheaper materials can be affected by direct sunlight if it's on them all the time all day for many, many days. And in addition to that, you're gonna have to dust them as well, keep them clean. And also, if it's made of this cheap pleather material that disintegrates sometimes, like AP bags are made out of, if it's being held up by like one of these little knob thingies and there's like lots of moisture, it will start to become brittle and it may fall apart. So I would invest in some sort of like a sealer for that kind of material so it doesn't do that. So now I'm going to take you to the other side of my closet. So here is a corner that I don't think has ever been seen before. I normally keep like a long tall mirror here, but I had to move it out of the way. Oh, I feel accomplished in having this many tops because for the first 3 years of Lolita, I was focusing so much on dresses that I would pretty much cycle between like the same 7 blouses, which is totally fine, but wearing Lolita as often as I was, it would just really be helpful to have more options. So for me, this is a lot. For other Lolitas, I've seen their closets and they have like this times 3. Very, very impressive. Yeah, on this side I have a black jewelry holder attached to the wall. It is screwed in there because I had no other place to put it in this apartment. And on top of it, I have my hoop pettiskirt hanging from it. But my other normal petticoats are down below. I have like a big box for them to lie in, but they don't fit, so normally there's always some spilling out on the side. And then on the top row, I have my headpieces. Not all of them, but most of them. Originally, all of my headpieces were kept in a drawer, but it got to the point where it was frustratingly hard to find the one that I want. Moreover, because some of them were so like deep in there, I would forget that I had certain things. And I decided that I needed to have them placed in a position where they were like sitting but facing so that I could see what my options are. And that's why they are here. Now what you probably can't notice is that they are actually holding onto or wrapped around 3 different paper towel rolls, and I saw this before on a DIY. Someone had made like a 3-tier candy themed like headband holder. It was the most cutest thing and I really, really wanted to do that. But this room is also used as my office, so I really didn't want to turn it into having accessories like everywhere. So I just put it in a straight line. Here is one of them, just straight up. And you know what? It's fine. You can't see it from far away. That's what matters. You can't see it. You can't tell from far away. So it's great. And I plucked them off and then I put them back on when I'm done with them. They all have an order, kind of. My boyfriend was really confused when he noticed that all of our paper towels were gone. But it's fine, I bought more right afterwards. So in the top little area, I have my hats. These 2 are from Taobao. This is from the, I think, the 99-cent store. I love these because I can also just wear these with my normal clothes. Like this one wasn't even supposed to be for Lolita, but I use it anyway. So I also have this pink cowboy hat, obviously for a kid. Obviously also from the 99-cent store, but I think it's cute. So I actually used to have a few bonnets that I kept in here as well, but I ended up selling those because I love the way that bonnets look, but I don't like the way that I physically feel in them, and I just don't think that they look right on my face. So, but I do have this one. Looks pretty. It's a little bit difficult to wear. You have to like really fit it right, but I love it. It kind of reminds me of some old time stuff. And then I've shown this before in past videos. I absolutely love this hat, and you can also find this on Taobao. And then I feel like everybody has like a small pile of these lying around somewhere. My hope is to get them in more colors at some point. So I am going to be going down my blouses. I might not be able to name the brands that all of them came from, especially if it's from Taobao, but if you see any and you're wondering about it, you can go ahead and ask in the comments and I will try to look it up directly and see if it's still available or not. So these are 3 blouses from, I got them from eBay, but they're also on Taobao. And I'm pretty sure most of us have like at least one of these. These are the crop top, one size elastic tops. Like they are great for summer. Now because this collar here is so pronounced, it is easy to point out and know exactly when someone's wearing them. But I do think that they're cute, and I think that it's just really helpful having one of these as like a backup. So I apologize beforehand if you were offended by the non-buttoning of them. I swapped through them so much that I just don't even bother buttoning them up anymore. I used to, and it's very time consuming. I believe both of these are from Dark Star Island on Taobao, and these two materials are very light, very cozy. I would also recommend this for summer. In fact, I would recommend these more than the ones that I just showed because the other ones are great. I've gotten them for like $10, maybe $12. These ones are a little bit more, but they're not as itchy as the other ones. Not that the other ones are like itchy, but they can be if you have really sensitive skin. But yeah, these are two of my favorite blouses. So these are my two bodyline blouses, and again, this is one of those things that I think the majority of us have a few bodyline blouses at least. These blouses in particular with the pearls and like the frills going down here, these used to be like beginner staples. Even if you were planning on just wearing like AP every day, like if you were the ultimate OTT top sweet Lolita, having this blouse in like every pastel color was the thing to do. So these three right here are from Anna House. I was really excited to finally have a yellow blouse because I feel like, especially for this shade of yellow, it's a very vivid yellow, but it's like pastel. It's not mustard or weird or anything. It's a very bright yellow. I also really love this shade of blue in particular. It's a very pale blue, not like this one, which I do like, but it matches my sweet prints a little bit less, whereas this one goes really well with a lot of my AP. And I don't know if it's because there's so many other popular indie brands now, but I feel like Anna House is a little bit underrated. But if you aren't on the hunt for blouses, I would highly recommend checking out Anna House if you haven't. So these are two ivory tops that I have. This one is from Ink Rouge, I believe, and I really like it because it's got these very light lavender bows at the top. This one is really great if I'm looking for that large collar. Fortunately, I have no idea what the brand is for this. It says Classic Fashion. I've never heard of that before, so I have no idea. So these are all my Access Femme blouses, and I used to keep these in my normie closet, but I realized that I actually make better use of them with my Lolita stuff. This one is really great. It's great for sweet. It's great for classic. As is this one, the style is a little bit different, but if I'm just looking for sleeves and I can cover up the collar with something else if I wear this usually. These two on the other hand, they're not typically colors that you would see in Lolita unless it's like classic or something. This one still has the tag and a cute little brooch that it came with. So I think that's really nice because clearly I haven't used it, but I really want to find a way to make use of it. I also bought it for like $5 on Closet Child. Now most of the stuff from Access Femme is like more normie clothing, maybe like a Tome K or something like that, or Mori Girl, but once in a while, they will have stuff that does fit Lolita. So I always like to keep an eye out for that. So this is a black bodyline blouse. It has full shirring all around the waist area. It is not the same as the other two bodyline blouses that I previously showed. The lace is very different. The design is different. Moreover, this actually came with detachable sleeves that, you know, were really long. I did take them off. I didn't really like how they felt or how they looked, but I actually really like this one because it's super cozy. So these two blouses I got from Taobao. They're the kind with like the puffy sleeves. I think one of these is Tiny Garden. I don't know which one for sure. These two were pretty cheap. You can usually find them if you're just searching Lolita blouses on Taobao. I think this one was maybe like $8 and this one was maybe 12 or something. Yeah, the sleeves on this one are very puffy. It took a bit of an adjustment period for me to get used to when I first tried it on. I thought it would look maybe a little bit more like this, but no, it has a different look altogether. So hoarding this one is always fun. So these are my princess sleeved blouses. I think this black one is Julia. I really actually love this one, but it's black, so I very rarely get a chance to wear it because most of my dresses are very colorful. This next one is another princess one. I think it's from the same brand. It's got very ultra princessy sleeves. It's not my personal favorite because the collar goes all the way up to the neckline, and I don't really feel comfortable with things wrapped fully around my neck. I make exceptions for some necklaces, but usually not. So this one I actually like a lot. A few people have asked about this before, unfortunately. It's no longer on sale, but it's got music notes on it and little flowers. It took a while for me to get used to this as well because the end of the sleeves hits like right at my elbow. I thought that it might be a little bit longer, but it's not, so it was an interesting fit. But I really, really like the top part. Now it is more of a statement collar, so gotta be a little bit finicky when you're putting your dress on. This pink one is Little Dipper, very cute. I think I got it secondhand, and it's such a very, very pink kind of pink. A lot of the times when I've bought something pink, I will think that this is the color that it's gonna show up in, but usually it's always like super pale, but this is just pink. This next one is Anna House. It's got mega sleeves. If you are bothering to look at the sizes, you may notice that they are all over the place. That is because I just kind of work with what I have. Medium fits best. Large also works well, but generally I find that there's so many indie brands out there that their sizes are all over the place. So for example, this is an extra large and this is gigantor on me. I've thought about selling it several times because it's just so big on me, but if I were to take this extra large and put it towards another brand, it wouldn't be quite as big. Like, you know when you order a large but it's actually like really small and it's like, what happened? Did I gain weight? No, it's just that numbers are kind of all over the place. Sizes are just kind of a mess. This is why it is very important to look at the measurements specifically when buying Lolita. Otherwise, tragedies can happen. So these are two baby blouses that I have. They look very similar, but they are different. Also, the shade of them is very interesting. These are soft, muted colors. They are pastels, but they're very old, classic kind of pastel. But yeah, these are two of my favorite blouses. So these are all from Taobao. This one I really like because the sleeves have that shiny fabric embedded that makes it look like it's shiny. And I don't know if the camera is picking up, but not only are they like glittery looking, but they're also iridescent. So they've got like that little rainbow sheen to them, which is so great. And then the lace around the collar has castles on it. Now this one was like $10, very, very cheap. I don't know that I necessarily like this design for this color, but I was desperate for a mint blouse because I had been searching for a mint blouse for like 5 years now. So when I saw this, I was just like, I'm gonna try it out. We're gonna see how it works. And then similar to that one, I have this lavender one with an even bigger sleeve. It's very light material, so this is actually really good for hot weather. And I actually like this one a little bit more than I thought I would. But yeah, these are my mid-arm length pastel items. So these are my two Metamorphosed Glasses. This one I've had forever. I don't know if you could really see the color that well. It's just a very light, like lilac color. I used to wear this one all the time. I think I just kind of forgot about it. And this one I really would like to wear. This big collar is removable, but this shade of blue, I'm looking at the camera and it's coming up as like green almost. This is what I like to call electric shock blue. Like it's a very yellow toned blue and it matches nothing else in my wardrobe. So I want to sell it, but I want to keep it too. So these are more Taobao things. This is by Pumpkin Cat. I did get it more recently, so I haven't had a chance to actually port it with anything yet. Really looking forward to doing that though. And this one, I did an unboxing. I really, really absolutely love this one. It looks basically just like big old raggedy, but when worn, the sleeves are just absolutely lovely. And this is so cozy and it's so great for hot weather. The only thing that's negative is the neckline, which is a little bit plain. So I have to be a little bit picky with what jumper skirts I wear with this. So these are all of my long white sleeve blouses. We have Pumpkin Cat, which is really, really plain. The collar is super minimal. This one is Angelic Pretty. And I really like this one because it's a very nice size, and I have this issue with AP blouses, and it has to do with their sizes being all over the place, because here is another AP blouse, and this fits like a small. This fits like an extra large, so it can just be really confusing sometimes. But again, this is why we always look at the measurements. Although if you're buying secondhand, it could be a little bit more difficult. So the last of these is this Baby the Starshine bright blouse. I like this one because the sleeves kind of like they scrunch up in the wrist area, so it's really cute. And I know that this blouse was special. It was for like an Alice in Wonderland release that they did, but I have no idea what this logo is. I've been trying to figure it out for a long time. Something to do with Alice in Wonderland. I don't know. I don't see it myself personally. So these next two things are long sleeved pink things. This is AP. And I actually think this is the chest chocolate top. It's got the little logo there and crowns. This is really, oh god, I almost died. This is really cute. I love it. This is a cut sew. It ties right here into a ribbon, and I was told that these are super cozy, and because you know they're made of like a different material, they're ultra stretchy, but this thing is so tiny. I don't know if it shrunk or what, but there's really very little stretch to this, so I feel like I was a little bit lied to. I don't know if they started changing their material later on and this is an older piece, but you know, it's fine. So next we have my Boleros. This is Juliet et Justine, and it is one of my all-time favorites. I love this. I got this earlier on in my start of wearing Lolita. I actually started out wearing mostly classic stuff, but I ended up selling most of those things. But I did hold on to this because it's rather simple, but I just love it so much. And then this one I got for $5 at the thrift store. I want to say like 10 years ago. So before I started wearing Lolita. But I love the style so much, and I love the way that this looks. And you know what? It fits, so I've since moved it into my Lolita wardrobe. And this was an unboxing I did. This is Alice and the Pirates. It's got the little logo right there. I love this color. It's very soft beige brown kind of thing, maybe like caramel. And I originally thought that I would usually only use this with like a few dresses, but I've been mixing and matching it with like a few other things that I didn't think would go, but somehow it all kind of meshes together. So these are my short-sleeved Boleros or cardigans. This one is Metamorphosed, and this one is Starshine Bright. I've had others, but I've since sold them because they're just way too small. I'm gonna put it in there that I just really love Metamorphosed and Baby tops because I feel like I can really depend on their stuff to always fit me. I have never had an issue with their stuff being too small. If anything, I've only had issues with their stuff being too big, even now at my current weight, so that's just really nice. So these are my long-sleeved sweaters. This is, I got secondhand. It's from Taobao. I don't know about the brand. It doesn't really have a tag on it. I don't think so. Yeah, this one is Juliet et Justine. It's kind of messy on the hanger. Yeah, it looks better when being worn. But I love this rosy color. I think that they do just a really great job with their cardigans and stuff. And then this sweater is from Dearly, not a Lolita brand, just a regular J Fashion brand, but I do like to work this into my cords because I think it's cute. It's got this big piece of lace here, so it kind of matches. So I also have this one pen wire, very long. It is a silvery color. This is a very interesting color because it said on the description that this was white, but I'm assuming that this is their version of white. I think they had a black one, and that also was like shimmery like this. So despite this being like a hard one, this is what I would consider, you know, a little bit more difficult for me to cord with my things. This is also another one of those pieces that I just have a lot of fun with. So I really hope that I get to show it off on video at some point. So to end this, I'm going to quickly go over my jackets. I have this one from Access Femme. Not Lolita, but I sometimes wear it with my dresses. And then the two jackets I keep up here. I have already shown them off before in a haul that I did. Oh my god, it's so heavy. If you want to see these two more up close, you can check out that haul video. I do also have an Alice and the Pirates jacket, but I've mentioned this before. I keep it in a different closet, basically the hallway closet where I have all of my normie jackets. So now that that's all done with, I am going to take you to the last area of this room, which is directly across from me. And you will probably recognize this area the most because it's where I film most of my videos. It is where my dresser is. Originally, I got this dresser to have like my normie stuff in because I didn't really have a big enough closet. But we've since moved apartments, so all of my extra Lolita stuff is just jam-packed in there, and my normie stuff I fit in my bedroom, so I don't really have to worry about sharing this space with it. So on the top of my dresser I have perfume bottles, although I don't actually really use them that often. I'm actually really sensitive to smells. They give me headaches if they're too strong. Every once in a while I like to just come by and sniff them. So I have the candles sitting here because I just like seeing the colors. It reminds me of Neapolitan ice cream, and that makes me really happy. As for these pictures here, the two white frames are from Daiso, so you can get them for like $1 each. This little pink one I got at a antique store, but I have seen it on Amazon for probably cheaper than what I paid for it. So the pink box I've had for a very long time. There is non-Lolita stuff in there. I just have like tarot cards, crystals, stuff I used to be into when I was a teen. I've got my big bangle earrings because something about me that you most definitely don't know is that outside of Lolita, I have always loved big hoops, little hoops, medium hoops. I just really love hoops. So yeah, I do have a designated little hoop treasure right there. In this little chocolate thing, I have some rings. In here, I have some brooches. And this, as you can see, I have some rings here. You can spin it around, and I have like necklaces and other things in here. I also have my non-hoop earring display. Everything on the top and second row, I will usually only wear with Lolita. The bottom row is more for my normie stuff. And then I'm gonna get out the way so you can see this here. This big white box that I painted. It is a jewelry holder, and you could open up the side doors. My normie necklaces are in there, and then in here I have, usually I keep all my wig caps in here or some scrunchies. I know I have some like bows down there. So now I'm going to quickly go over what is inside the drawers, because I have them divided into 3 different sections, and they are accessories, wigs, and socks. So if we open this, you could see I have my wrist cuffs and some other stuff. My wrist cuffs are ordered from like more sweet pastel stuff to classic stuff, and then miscellaneous over there. Over here I have candy themed stuff. My jewelry and little head bows are in these little cases that I got from AliExpress. I have bows and just miscellaneous stuff. And then in the back I have like other random stuff in the corner, not too much. Now I do have a few other things that are not in here because they're somewhere around this room. In general, I know that it's not a whole lot of accessories because I actually just don't really like wearing that many things at once. So yeah, accessories for me is definitely more mediocre. In the drawer to my left is just random headwear. It's stuff like this that can't actually fit with my other head bows because I can't put this around a paper towel roll. I also have some bows that actually go on dresses, but I have them in here just in case I want to use them on my head. Some of the stuff I wanted to put with my other headwear in the closet, but it wouldn't fit, so I just dumped it in here temporarily. So yeah, it's my Lolita junk drawer, essentially. Okay, this next one is gonna be a little bit scary, kind of. So these 2 drawers are where I keep all my wigs. I don't know how many I have. I just know that I stuff them all in there. I try to keep them like, you see how these ones are like, these are lined up. I usually try to keep them lined on like their sides, and I try to keep them labeled, but it can be really hard because there's so many of them. I did try to go with a theme of keeping it like black to brown to red to blonde to pastel. Sorry that it's not the most tidy. This is just reality. So for the last drawer, we have my socks. These are all of my sweet socks. Now, I know I could save space by stacking them on top of each other, but I used to do that and I would forget what kind of socks I have. So although it takes up more space, it's a lot more beneficial for me to be able to see everything all at once. The drawer next to me is also socks, but it's my more classic ones. And then I have a basket with all my ankle socks, but I actually split ankle socks with my normie wardrobe, so they're not all in here. Some of them are in my normal closet. And then in the far corner, I have tights and hose and then socks that I usually don't go for. So there you have it. That was my entire wardrobe. If anyone wants to see a video on me covering specifics, like showing off each and every individual bag, or like showing off my entire headwear collection, feel free to ask. If I have time, I will do it. At some point, I do plan on at least doing a collection of my wigs, but that one might actually take a really, really long time. So, and also again, if there's anything in this video that you saw that you want to know where it's from, I'll try to help out as best as I can. Or if you ever want to see any totally different kinds of videos from me, you're totally welcome to ask. But aside from that, thanks for watching if you watched, and I will see you next time. Bye!